First news is Diogo Jota's widow pays special tribute to late Liverpool star on poignant milestone. Second news is Trent Alexander-Arnold finally vindicated as new Real Madrid verdict emerges clear. Third news is Liverpool told it has a player as good as Fernando Torres with exciting similarities clear. Hello Reds, welcome back to the channel where we live and breathe Liverpool Football Club. Diogo Jota's widow pays special tribute to late Liverpool star on poignant milestone. Diogo Jota's widow has delivered a poignant tribute to the late Liverpool star ahead of the family's first Father's Day without him. On 3 July last year, the football community was devastated when Jota and his brother Andre lost their lives in a car crash in Spain. Jota was making his way back to Liverpool for pre-season training following minor lung surgery in Porto, Portugal. He had originally intended to fly back to the UK but opted to travel by ferry from Santander, Spain on medical guidance. The tragedy unfolded just 11 days after the Portuguese footballer wed long-term partner Ruth Cardoso, the mother of his 3 children. He was 28 years old on Sunday. Ruth, 29, took part in a 10K Father's Day race in Porto. She donned the number 20, honoring the squad number Diogo wore throughout much of his career, including at Liverpool, reports the Liverpool Echo. She shared several photographs from the race to Instagram, with followers flooding the comments section to honor her and her late husband. "So proud of you," one commenter wrote. "You'll never run alone," another said, whilst a third posted, "Heaven smiles on you." Ruth finished the 10K race in 52 minutes and 7 seconds. Upon crossing the finish line, she gazed towards the sky and dedicated her achievement to the love of her life. Whilst Father's Day in the UK takes place on June 21, in Portugal, it occurs on March 19. The date represents just one of numerous poignant milestones facing the Jota family following Diogo's death, including their forthcoming wedding anniversary. Alongside the race, Ruth also attended an event on Saturday at the Arena Liga Portugal in Porto, where the final stage of Phase 2 of the Esports Championship occurred, featuring a team from FC Porto. This side is directly connected to Diogo and is now partially overseen by Ruth. Earlier this month, Ruth posted a family update from a recent journey she'd made with her children to Phuket, Thailand. She shared a photograph of them all standing before an elephant, accompanied by the caption, "Grateful for all the love in Phuket." The Jotas had previously visited Hong Kong, where Ruth had been presented with a moving book of condolences filled with sincere messages and hand-drawn illustrations of her late husband. Last month, Ruth posted a tribute to Diogo on Valentine's Day, February 14. She shared a photograph beside Jota, set to the song "If I Would Have Known" by Kyle Hume. Jota transferred to Liverpool from Wolves in a £41 million agreement back in 2020. He ultimately featured 182 times for the Reds, netting 65 goals. He secured the Premier League, the FA Cup and the League Cup at Anfield, and was a 2-time Nations League champion with Portugal. After his passing, Liverpool officially retired his no. Second news is Trent Alexander-Arnold finally vindicated as new Real Madrid verdict emerges. Trent Alexander-Arnold has not had an easy time of things since he left Liverpool to sign for Real Madrid, primarily because of injuries, but Sergio Agüero says the tide is starting to turn. Last week, Alexander-Arnold did well against Manchester City in the Champions League, with Federico Valverde's hat-trick giving Alvaro Arbeloa's men a commanding lead in that tie. While things have not gone as smoothly in La Liga, where Real Madrid is 4 points behind Barcelona, Agüero says things are heading in the right direction. Trent has had injury problems, but his quality has never been in doubt, the Argentine Premier League legend told Stake. Now he's back and he's done very well. He has a great right foot and is a fantastic provider of assists. Real Madrid has recovered a great player. Whatever happens in the Champions League, of course he can be a success. They're fighting for La Liga and they have a squad full of great players. We'll have to see how the injury situation develops because they've had many. Alexander-Arnold is likely to start for Real Madrid later today against Manchester City when he returns to English soil again. He has 2 assists in 19 games in Europe and La Liga combined so far. In Spain, the media is notoriously difficult to impress. As described Alexander-Arnold as the weakest link in the Real Madrid defense in the first game against Manchester City. Fellow outlet Sport gave Alexander-Arnold a 6 out of 10 in its player ratings. It pointed out that he was one of Madrid's key players in building attacks. Finally, Marca was pleased to note his truce with Jeremy Doku and a strengthened defensive showing. Alexander-Arnold was acknowledged for becoming more solid after weathering the Manchester City winger's initial supremacy. Massive performance, Alexander-Arnold said. A lot of the noise when the draw was made and leading up to this game, especially with the way we have been playing and the results we have had. A lot of people expected us to get battered tonight, but it shows the mentality. It doesn't matter what injuries we have got or players out. This competition matters a lot to the club, and as players we understand that. We go out there and they support us like that, and anyone can win. We have executed the game plan perfectly. We had confidence coming into this game. We knew our game plan, we executed it and scored our goals very ruthlessly. The size of the game is the main thing. I don't want to say that other games are less important, but when there is so much hype around a game and so many eyes on it, you know you have to perform. When you play for a club like this, the expectation is that you have to win. Third news is Liverpool told it has a player as good as Fernando Torres with exciting similarities clear. Liverpool legend John Aldridge has become the latest ex-pro to compare Hugo Ekitike to Fernando Torres amid an impressive first campaign at Anfield for the Frenchman. Ekitike was signed for a fee that could reach $106 million, £79 million from Eintracht Frankfurt last summer. He has since scored 16 goals in 40 games for Liverpool, quickly becoming a key man under Arne Slot. In recent weeks, Ekitike has not been quite as effective, but he has played a huge amount of minutes in the absence of Alexander Isak. The Swede was spotted running on the grass at the AXA training center as his recovery continues. Could Hugo Ekitike surpass Fernando Torres, as long as he doesn't go to Chelsea? Aldridge told Boyle Sports. Fernando was absolutely amazing. He was slightly older when he came in, but you can see similarities. That goal against Newcastle when he went through and stabbed it in like Fernando did. There are a lot of similarities between the two, the way they played, the way they moved, in fact. If Jamie Carragher thinks so, I'm not going to disagree with him, we're good mates. But he has certainly got the ability to be as good as Fernando anyway. Carragher was the first to make the comparison between Ekitike and his old Anfield teammate, Torres. I actually think Hugo Ekitike's a better player than Torres, Carragher explained on a Monday Night Football in February, having played alongside the Spaniard on 129 occasions. Not sure he'll get as many goals as Torres did over a couple of years, but what Fernando Torres had, he had Steven Gerrard. I think Fernando Torres, certainly in a Liverpool shirt, was made by Steven Gerrard. Now I don't think Hugo Ekitike would rely as much on Florian Wirtz, but if that combination keeps going, then that's when you could maybe get the goals that Fernando Torres got.